So I wanted to give a sermon on 2025. So I know it's 2025. Seems already so long ago, right? um, but I think it's good to look back at our year and to kind of acknowledge the things that have happened. And I'm sure there are many things that I will not capture in this sermon, because everything that's not, whenever there's no picture, it didn't happen, right? Because then I can't share it with you. But there were actually some things that happened last year I thought I'd mention before I go into the sermon itself, because I don't have any picture of it. So last year Florian became a member, so that's very special. We also had George gave his first Sunday service. I wasn't here for that, so that's a bummer for me. Is there anyone else that gave a sermon for the first time last year? I think some of the missionaries gave sermons. Minji gave a report. Yeah, that's right. And Luba also. So it's exciting. It's exciting. So I was looking at the pictures, because after a year, you kind of like, which happened first? Honestly, I was a bit like, what happened first? And I found that actually the first thing that, well, I'm going to mention at least, let's see how good the timeline is. Just don't judge me on the timeline, judge me on the pictures, and if I tell the story well. But the first thing was actually I wanted to share was my visit, or our visit, mine and Daniela's visit to Skåne, and we created the Skåne community. Of course, there already was technically a community there, but we went there and we met actually quite a lot of members down there. So it was very nice. And you might ask, oh, well, how did you know this was the first event? Well, I would say that haircut was a mistake. And yes, so that is a mistake. But that's the haircut I had in Skåne, and none of the other pictures had this haircut. So that's how I knew that my visit to Skåne was probably before everything else. It was really nice to go to Skåne. We have such lovely members there. And here we have a symbolic, I don't know if that was a cake cutting ceremony. I feel somehow, it's one of those things like whenever I go somewhere, people ask me, oh, Peter, oh, you're the national, could you pray? And whenever there's a cake, oh, Peter, can you cut the cake? And it's like, I'm very good at cutting cakes now, I'll tell you that. So it was really nice. Also, we have quite a few, young children there, which is always so uplifting. Members is one thing, but to see children play, and children, they don't think about the future. They think about now, right? And it's actually very refreshing to spend time with children, because they don't care what's going to happen tomorrow. If they're happy in the moment, they are happy. And if they're sad in the moment, they're sad until they're happy again. And if they're hungry, they want to eat. And if they don't get food, they're sad. And if they get food, they're happy. It's very simple. And sometimes it's very refreshing to be around children, because we're always worrying about tomorrow, which is, of course, is necessary, because someone needs to prepare the food for tomorrow, for example, right? But to be with children, it kind of gives you perspective and kind of calms you down a little bit. And you can experience things through, the song goes, see through the eyes of children. Is that how the song goes? See through children's eyes? And it's true. It's like I went to a water park with my nephew, and my sister was like, can you please take him? And I was like, oh my God, water park? It's like, what? I don't even know the percentage of water versus pee in those things. It's I was like, oh, okay. So I'll sorry, that wasn't part of the speech. I just thought of that now. And I go to this water park and with my nephew, and it was so wonderful. Why? Because I experienced everything through his eyes. And we went into the most shallow pool, and we just played with this this kind of monster shooting one like water, stråle, stream, or and we just played with that for I swear 3 hours, and it was like such a good time. So anyways, in Skåne it was really nice to see the children, and to see also the the members interact with the children. It was a very healthy and a happy atmosphere. And it's nice. I mean, somehow the Skåne people, they call in to these Sunday services online and Zoom, and it's really nice that they can be part. But I actually encourage any of you here, I think they would love to have you. I think Britta's online. Britta's hearing this. So if you want to go down to Skåne, I know Daniela and Damian went when they were here many years ago before we were blessed. And, it's nice. They have a beautiful community and beautiful families. So also later in the year, but connected to Malmö, also Anna Kalmatskaya, she went to Malmö. And I think this is very much thanks to Lars, the national leader of Denmark. Whenever they have some leader or prominent person come, they always go to Skåne also to include them, and that's really nice. And I asked actually, so how is it that you visit Denmark and Skåne, not Stockholm? I said, well, we were invited, so I was like, fair enough. So maybe we'll have some people visiting us this year. So they had a meeting there with Anna, and she was very happy. Also, Lars shares, if you're gonna visit Denmark, you also have to visit Skåne, because they're, it's kind of, they have one, as they call it, Öresund community. It's very beautiful. So, plowing forward, we had the opening of the palace. If you were there in Korea, raise your hand. There's a few people. Mikael raised both of his hands. Does that mean that's how expensive the trip was, right? That's how great it was. Yes. This is how expensive it was for me. No. We have had a few people attend, and there's one in the bottom left picture there. Actually, Mikael is in that picture. I'm so sorry. The bubble did not want to include you, so you were sadly cut up. But Mikael is there. And we also met some friendly faces. So in the top right corner, you'll see some missionaries that were here, UP missionaries. It was very nice to see them. We're so happy. And you know what each one of them said? I'll give you one guess. What do you think they mentioned when they saw me? Food. I miss your lasagna. Everyone very consistently said, I miss your lasagna. And I was like, yes, I missed you too, right? And then actually, in the bottom here, this was actually interesting, because Dada knew Uni from before. And so actually this one time we were out in the rain, and usually I'm quite polite. Actually, I remember this very clearly. But this time, Uni on the other side opened the door, and I was like, I want to go in, right? So I just stormed past, and it's very impolite. And then it turned out that that's someone that's going to come here. So that was some first impression for Uni. But we met her, which was really nice. And we had some beautiful robes. We have two fantastic couples here that had a little bit of an adventure in Korea also. Excuse me. And so, we had, it was a very, and on the top left you see, actually I don't think technically you're not allowed to take pictures there, but we did. Hey, don't tell anyone, okay? So you can see the new, that's actually the Chon Won-gung itself I think is the hall, the prayer hall where God sits. And it's very beautiful, it's very magnificent, and I do encourage, if you haven't gone, I do encourage you to go and do a little pilgrimage. Actually, if we get enough people, we could do a Swedish pilgrimage. So it was a very nice event, and it's always nice to go abroad and then to meet Swedish members. So I think we represented Sweden well. Is there a reason why you have different colors on your brooches?
We kind of referred it to Harry Potter, where it's selected like Ravenclaw and Slytherin.
Oh, I see. So they're saying that. Well, I don't know. I'm not satisfied with that answer. I'm not going to share it. They got different ribbons.
Yeah.
It meant where you're going to be seated during the.
Yeah, but I'm curious why they got different. Yeah. So they got different. Interesting. Maybe they were like, Jeanette, have Korean, better ribbon.
Maybe.
Maybe. So then we also later, we had the missionaries come to Sweden. Woo. And so this is, of course, a very famous van. We know, Passions. Passions van. The flags are so old, they look like Finnish flags. Because the sun has been on there for so long. It's funny. It's funny. And we did many activities with the mission. This is in Gamla Stan. I think this was our first outing together. And this, of course, is Trotsikgsgränd. Say that right? Yes, I'm looking at no one's saying no, so that means it's correct. Yeah, and then we had some events together with the missionaries. We had Saturday seminars with our Uncle Tim, which I think this year maybe we've been the most consistent with the Saturday seminars. Yeah, Daniela was like, how many did we have? I was like, that's a good question. 9 or 10 Saturday seminars. No, we've had more than that. At least 10, at least 2 figures Saturday seminars. And we've been very consistent with that. We're very grateful for Tim to teach this every Saturday, and also for the MCs who've been supporting, and of course the missionaries. And we've had some very good seminars. And I mean, I come when I can, and many times I'm not the MC. It's actually just very refreshing to hear Tim speak, because he's very, I don't know, he teaches the DP in a way that you can understand it, and in a very, friendly way. And of course, it's very refreshing to hear, when we have guests, they ask questions that are like real. They're like, what about this? And you're like, oh, I just took that for granted. So it's actually a very refreshing dialogue to have. We also had culture events, and this is really fun. In our living room, we have these small symbols framed. I don't know what they mean anymore. Maybe Dada knows. She framed them. This was we had a culture, and I think we also had a Korean culture event, and we had one activity which I wanted to share, which was a bit intense for me. I changed the way I looked at members. Felix knows what I'm talking about already. It was really this game, Karuta. Did I say that correctly? Karuta? And it is a game where you're supposed to, like, they say a English word pronounced in Japanese way. So, what's an example of that? Oh, McDonaldo, for example. What is that? And then you're supposed to hit the McDonald's sign. And we did this, and there were some members that were very intense. Some people hurt their hands. And I'll share this. I mean, I think Felix, Daniela, and Jeanette were, to me, I remember, were very intense. And at one point, like, Jeanette and Daniela were doing it, and me and George just looked at each other like, like, it's like, it was kind of like, are you okay? I was like, yeah, I'm okay. Are you okay? So we have been treading carefully since then at home. It was very fun, really fun, very creative events. And then also something that we tried at home, actually. We did this in Uppsala. We did the sushi tacos. It's not called that, but that's the Swedish name of it. What's the name, actually? Temaki sushi, also known as sushi tacos. So you basically take a seaweed and you put food in it and you wrap it and you eat it. And it's really nice. It's fantastically good. And so Dada bought actually a lot of seaweed from Korea when she was there. And so we did it in Uppsala. Mama, it was okay? It was okay. Good. It was nice, she says. All right. We also had Midsommar. And so, although we don't organize something as a community, we had 2, I would say, larger gatherings. And one was with the Julins. And so we have our musicians. And the Midsummer Pole. And I think it's also nice when, as a Swedish person, because when you do your traditions, again, I don't know if you've done any Swedish tradition without children. it's very strange. But when you do it with children or with foreigners, it's kind of like, oh, it's kind of fun. Like you're frogs and you're jumping around the pole, you know? It's very strange if you're just like, if there are no children or foreigners, you're kind of like, why are we doing this? But I think it's very refreshing. We also had in Kloten, very nice that we can meet up like this as members and community. And I mean, traditionally we've done a lot of midsummers in Kloten. I think Julins and the freelance have. It's so nice that they're willing to host actually and take care of members, and because we are a family in many ways. So then these holidays you're supposed to celebrate together with family and friends. We also had the 60th anniversary of the Holy Ground. So Trifadar was anointed. Is that the right word? Created the Holy Ground 60 years ago. Well, now 60 and a half years ago, in Stockholm, in Humlegården. And so we met up for that, and we also did a peace road in honoring the Holy Ground. And this is actually, I didn't add the picture, maybe I should have done that, but this is where Trifadar, he took, there's a picture of him, kind of, I'm not sure if he's holding against a rail, but there's a picture of him with Gamla Stan and Djurgården in the background, and this is where he stood. And so, I don't know, it's nice to, because, I mean, Trifadar is in the spirit world, it's kind of nice to be connected somehow, right? Like, we can always go to Korea, we can see True Mother, and in all the videos and the reports, we see True Mother, but we don't see Trifadar, right? So it's nice to actually remember and honor him in some way. And this was a very nice way to do that. And I'm very grateful for the staff. I'd like to point out Mikael especially, who's pushing this, and we can learn more about this piece. It's also the Ekumeniska veckan, ecumenical week in Sweden. How many years ago was it that it was 100 years ago?
Yeah.
100 years ago, where Per Album, what's his name? Nathan Söderblom. I got the Bloom right. He did an ecumenical meeting with religious and Christian leaders who met in Stockholm, and it was a very prominent event. And it's very fascinating, and I wish actually that Sweden would be more proud of this, right? Because it's part of our culture, our heritage, to have prominent people, religious leaders that done great things for the world. And this was one of the first out of many ecumenical meetings, and it happened in Sweden. So I think we should be proud of that. So we did this during that week, and so we have some very nice pictures. And in this picture, Mikael is not cropped out. Yay! Woohoo! So, it's very nice that we can do these walks. I remember it was quite cold and windy, but walking does help with that. We also had the Women's Federation meeting in, I want to say Tensta or Kista. I think Tensta Gymnasium. Thank you, Karin. It says on the picture. Great. We had the missionaries attended, and many, I think Britta and Kikuksan. Was Karin, were you also there?
Yeah, on the far side. To the left.
To the left. To the right.
Oh, to the right.
Ah, yes, Karin is there. So it's nice that we can hold these events, and we're very, very grateful for the Women's Federation, and they actually take the initiative to do these events. We have a new accountant for the Women's Federation, Mikael. Can we give a round of applause for Mikael? Woo. So as the way it's been explained to me, it's like there can be a little bit of I don't know if stigma is the right word, but usually only a lot of women attend these events, or sisters, but actually everybody's welcome, Like brothers or men or uncles should also attend. I think that's something we should support. And so good for you, Mikael. Interesting. We applaud the only man in the team. So can we applaud Britta and Karin and Kiko-san and all the other that support? Yay. Yes. Tack. Oh, that's great. Thank you. We also had, we had many holidays, and we had True Children's Day in here. Somehow we successfully managed to host games in here. Can you? This is how they do. This is how they put pictures on Hemnet, right? The place looks bigger than it is. Now this is this locale, and it's exactly as big as it feels right now. Whenever someone says it's bigger than it looks, I'm like, it's not exactly this big. Yeah. In this case, it's smaller than it looks. And we had, this was a very fun game. I think some people, I think that the children enjoyed it, and I think that's important. And again, when children enjoy something, we experience it through their eyes, and in turn, we can have fun. I'm not sure how much fun this would have been without the children. Maybe it would have been great. But we also had amazing food, a beautiful holiday table. I tried ChatGPT for the first time with the AI generated pictures, and it was so upsetting, like how they could never get the face the same. And I'm like, I had to buy premium just to get, because I ran out of pictures to generate, and it takes like 20 minutes to generate a picture. I swear I sat like 4 hours just generating pictures. My sermon was already done. I was like, come on. And anyways, we had some amazing food. I think we take a lot of pride in our fika, and we should. I don't know if you've been to Sunday service in other countries, and you hear like sometimes a good sermon, sometimes an okay sermon, sometimes a bad sermon, and then you're like, oh my God. Well, at least if there's a bad sermon, you're like, at least there will be food after this, right? And then there's like coffee and cookies, and I'm like, are they at least homemade? It's like, no. It's like, this is just not good enough. And I'm like, I feel very homesick. I want to go back to Sweden. I miss my fika. This is an outrage. How dare you insult your parents and myself? I take it very personally. And so I tried to compose myself.
That's why Nikki came back.
That's why Nikki came back for the fika. Yeah, I bet. Yeah, I'm not going to say the community. We went to one community. I actually gave the sermon, and it was short because some of the freshmen were falling asleep. I was like, I don't want to talk. So I cut the sermon short. So the sermon wasn't great. And then afterwards, like, Liz, we're going to have some fika. And then it was like these square bread. It wasn't even the white kind. It was the one that pretends to be healthy with the seeds inside. And it's like a toast bread. And then it was like just ham and cheese. And I was like, oh, God. It's just like, the thing is like, why we're always so happy after the Sunday service is because like the fika. It's like, I don't know how good the sermons actually are. I'm going to be honest with you. It's like we keep on saying, like, we need to make them shorter, right? The fika is very close to now. So I think we can take a lot of pride in our food. And we should. And it's nice. For me personally, Father said food is love, right? And I really think so. And it's a way to show love is to cook for people you care about. And like a lot of people, there's actually apparently a lot of people, they say they don't like to cook. But it's still nice to cook for others, right? That's what makes it worth it. Like maybe you don't like to stand there and like shuffle vegetables in a pan. Enough about food. I clearly like food. And the game, I think, was very fun, a huge success. I think this picture captured a very important event last year. It speaks to itself. I do want to say that although True Children's Day was, I think, quite fun, quite good. However, the year before that, we had these pictures. And oh my God, I wasn't here for this, but I've seen the pictures. And I mean, this might be better than our fika. This is brilliant. I think we should have more art like this. And maybe we should leave them on the walls, and people will really like, wow, they're really open-minded here. We we had, of course, the Chonbo event in Uppsala. Of course, to me, this is close to heart. It felt very close to heart in many ways. To go back to your hometown, but I've actually, being from Uppsala, you know a few things, but I've actually read up a little bit about Uppsala, and Uppsala's been a religious center for the Nordic countries for a very long time, right? Before Christianity was here, before Christianity was here, there was the Asatron, the heathen Viking faith. They had a center there, and after that Christianity came and they constructed Domkyrkan in 1200 to 1400. And so, yeah, it's really nice that we can be there. And President Moon actually shared that, he really enjoys coming to Sweden because, we take care of the team, but also it's a really nice spirit. For them, they say it feels effortless to be in Sweden. And I think we should take a lot of pride in that. We take care of them, but also we come with such good attitude and clear attitude, and we really want to learn and we want to receive and we want to become better. And I feel like we come with that attitude very much also to Sunday service. And in the things we do that with a good attitude. And we shouldn't take that for granted. Not to compare with other communities, but each community is going to have something really valuable. And I feel for us it's transparency and love for each other and taking care of each other, and I'm very grateful for the first gen in the community that have made this effort to create this atmosphere, right? And of course, like the younger members, the second gen, we've been raised in this community, we're like, we can be better, right? Of course. However, we should really acknowledge and respect and acknowledge what we've had and what we've received. So we had Peter Åkerbeck came to Uppsala. He took the train to Uppsala. We picked him up, and he was our VIP that we wanted to honor, and he gave a small speech to some of the members who were there. This was Wednesday, I think, or Thursday. Thursday. Thank you. Also, we had my most frightening moment of my life, the Uppsala witnessing. And so where we were singing and dancing, and we were giving out leaflets, and there are some people here and also at home, they were incredibly good at giving out these leaflets, and they give it such amazing heart. Julie, I shared all of it during the Trumbo event, but Julie and Jan, I couldn't we didn't even start, and they had started. And they were smiling and they were happy and they were giving this out. And so many people, the floor ran out of these flyers, I don't know how many times. And I had to refill them. I had to take from some people that were slow. Yeah, you get a little bit of judgment. And I took them and I passed them on to Flora and Julie, who were like, but I finished. I was like, no, you didn't. We also, and it's so nice that missionaries could join the singing. And it was really nice. The singing was so beautiful and was very easy when they were singing. The loud prayer and the speeches, it's a little bit more assistance then. And I remember one elderly man, he's like, "Ni är inte kloka." when doing the loud shouting prayers. I couldn't help but laugh. But my soul was screaming in uncomfort. We also visited Emanuel Swedenborg, which was, also another significant person from Sweden, which I don't feel like we acknowledge enough. Our community perhaps, but perhaps not, as Swedish people. So we've had a lot of significant people, or, Celsius, Dag Hammarskjöld, a lot of people just from Uppsala. And a lot of famous people worked in Uppsala and Sweden, and I think it's really fascinating. Sometimes you need someone from outside of Sweden to come and be like, "Wow, you have so many cool people from Sweden. I was like, yes, we do. We're pretty cool. So we had some beautiful testimonies and some sharings and really good lectures, which is always nice and refreshing. I would say I wanted to... You see the picture here with Mikael and President Moon. We had prepared the paper the day before, printed out the paper where President Moon could sign. He was going to come back next year. He's actually already written to me. And I came back from Finland on Monday, or was it Tuesday? I think it's maybe Tuesday. And like on Wednesday, he wrote me, like, "Hey, when can I come back to Sweden?" And I was like, "I just came back. My year hasn't really started yet." So he wants to come back. So we'll see if he comes to Sweden or if he can come to another Nordic country. So we're in communication with them. We actually had a national leaders meeting with the Nordic countries, because we had Norway, Finland, Sweden, and the Danish national leaders came, and where we could share a little bit about ideas. They were, first of all, very happy about the Nordic Sunday service, that we have the speakers from not outside of the Nordic countries. They're really happy that we actually invite speakers, and so they wanted us to continue that. Also, they wanted support in witnessing. So I said, well, we have our Tim, Uncle Tim. Perhaps we can do online seminars. Anyways, it was a nice, and they wanted to have an annual meeting with the Nordic countries. And so that, I think, would be very cool to do. So let's see what we can create from that. And if any of those three areas are interesting to you, please let me know. We also had amazing food. Can we give a round of applause to the missionaries for cooking food? So this kitchen that they worked in is really just for like 15 people, 16 people. It's like it's a stove. It's one stove. And we cooked food for 40 people, which is incredible. And so very stressful. And the missionaries had never actually... You've heard this a few times, but it's nice to mention. The missionaries had actually never cooked for this many people before. So it was very impressive. We should be very proud of their efforts and thank them. We also had an amazing family evening. I love the Lucia tåg. Apparently, Anne-Marie asked Niklas to come, and this was the last thing she'll ever ask of him. Yes. For 2025, right? we can change the deal afterwards, right? So it starts over 2026, right, Anne-Marie? Yeah. Yes, exactly. It's official, Niklas. I'm so sorry. But there was a very beautiful Lucia tåg. I don't have any picture of Johannes. He was an amazing Santa Claus. President Moon, he was like, can we have another Santa Claus? I was like, well, it's Lucia. We don't really do Santa Claus now. He's like, no, let's do Santa Claus. Okay, I can ask my brother. My brother's like, why are you asking me this? This is a weird request. I was like, well, President Moon wants it. But he's like, but why are you asking me? He wants it. He's like, he wants it. Why does he want it? Whatever. And long story short, Johannes came, he was Santa Claus, and it was really fun. So he was... Oh, no, so Johannes wasn't there when Santa Claus came. We still don't know where Johannes was when Santa Claus came. So likely Johannes is not Santa Claus. Oh, Johannes was holding the reindeers? Is that right? Johannes was apparently holding the reindeers, someone said, helping Santa Claus. That's very nice. That's very cool. Imagine if you took the reindeers and Santa would be like, he'd come back to the room and it's like, someone took my reindeers. And we also had a beautiful performance by Kim. I don't know. Many of these activities, Johannes, Santa Claus, and the Lucia and Kim, like these performances, like almost brought me to tears. Johannes with joy and the others was just very beautiful, and makes me very proud to be Swedish and to be part of this community. We can offer something so beautiful. So thank you, Niklas, for coming. Imagine if you hadn't, crazy. Applause to Niklas and the team and Kim. And so we also had a beautiful performance from each Nordic country. The Norwegians, they had a performance about bringing like the light or something like this. was very nice. They could bring some light to us in Sweden. And what did Finland do?
They sang a song.
They sang a song. Oh yeah, the Finnish national song.
Yeah.
Right. With Bengt and Josef. That's right. And the Danish.
They sang as well.
They also sang. And then we had the one from the sitting and the eating and the cuckoo. I don't know if you were there. It was an incredible performance. I want to give a lot of credit to Felix for that. I sat in the front and was like, oh my god. We've also had, I think something I want to, for me it's very important that we do this. And I spoke to President Moon actually, and he explained a little bit that like the Chombo providence. And the way he explains it actually is that Chonchewon and the Chombo is actually the internal part of our movement and our community, while Family Federation is the external, right? And so why it's important that we had to do the Chonchewon is actually it gives us light and it gives us spirit. And I think that's incredibly beautiful, and that we have this tradition. I know Mikael, Anne-Marie, Felix, and the missionaries, and Karin, and Flor, and Liliana. I'm missing someone. Mama, thank you. Valtraud, sorry. A lot of investment. Judith also comes a lot. So a lot of investment is made into the Chonchewon, and I think it brings spirit and brings life. Because it's nice to come to Sunday service. We have a short sermon, but it's nice to come to the community to spend time together, but to actually to come together and pray. That is so meaningful, right? Like, yes, we pray at home. Yes, maybe we do hundoke at home, etc., etc. But to meet together as a community and pray is so valuable. And I'm very grateful for the team for being so consistent. High five. No, what's the question?
Can I give you some numbers there?
Yes. What are the numbers,
Shall I
Richard?
come up?
Yeah, come up, please.
Yeah. So I love you so much.
I love you.
So yes, Chonchewon, since you had this beautiful picture,
Yes.
I want to share. From like a year and a half ago, we did 80 Wednesdays in a row. Except when Mother came to Munich and we went to opening. And Felix and Nina was there every time for tech. Maybe one time I tried to do it myself, and then I had to call for backup. So anyhow, 80 Wednesdays in a row. How about that? And then after that, in the fall now, the missionary team did 40 days, all of them straight, that they attended here, 40 days. So then people on Zoom that missed the Wednesday, they say, can't you do that? But I mean, if you have the real thing here, you can't really break from Korea and say, well, here is the Swedish, So anyhow, so 40 days, all of them. And then at least one of them were here every day, leading up to Uppsala.
Wow.
So, yeah,
Amazing.
some serious numbers.
Yeah. Actually, the missionaries came. Was it every weekday for, I think, 21 days or 40 days, something like this. 40 days. It's incredible. And so I think this is a Chonchewon, right? There's a prayer hall, right? So I think, please come here and pray. We have this locale and we treat it like a meeting place, but really, if you want to show devotion in any shape or form, Anne-Marie, she fixes the flowers here, right? We have flowers here, fresh flowers every week, right? And if they don't look fresh, Anne-Marie removes them. So there's a lot of care and love is being taken to these flowers. If you want to do some kind of devotion, that's also nice. If you want to come here, you want to clean, or you want to, fix the chairs. The below side of many of the chairs need to be vacuum cleaned, so those black things that are everywhere go away. There are many things you can do to offer your heart if you find it difficult to pray. But if you want to pray, please come here. If you need a key, please ask someone who has a key. And then you can come, you can light the candles, you can offer devotion. I find myself living in Sweden that's quite secular, that we think everything is something practical, everything's materialistic, everything can be explained with psychology, right? But we forget to move our hearts with prayer. Your father said, actually, to connect to God, he actually said that prayer is one of the last things you should do. You should connect to God in many things that you do. But True Father offered incredibly much devotion and prayer, and True Mother also. I mean, True Father famously ruined the floorboards in his prayer room because he was praying so much, right? There's cement under this. There's no risk. You can cry as much as you want here. And if the carpet is ruined, we can change it. So please ruin the carpet. We had a lovely New Year's celebration here. Also, this is another picture one, and this is a beautiful cake. But we did have a beautiful New Year's celebration here. It's again nice that we can come together. I was personally in Finland with the missionaries and Johannes and Daniela and Minji. We had a very lovely time there. But you see the beautiful robe Mikael is wearing? Yes. Similar to Karin's robe. I think we should fix it up a little bit and we can make it into Choncheon robe. So I've had a fantastic year with all of you, and I'm sure that there are some moments that I haven't captured. But I think what's important to remember is that we have this community. It's an amazing community, and it's so nice to invest into this community. It feels like everything you invest in yourself. And I thank you for all the collaborators. It's a very official word, but to each family member here in the community that makes this community what it is. So to everyone, can we give everyone a round of applause? And to those online, the champions who call in every week, I know we have our Kloten, we have our Albanian family, now I'm forgetting the name, and then we have Skåne, we have Jan Peter, a lot of people that call in, and it's really precious that it's not just here, but they can feel our heart. So whenever we invest here, they also get that. Thank you so much, and I really hope that 2026 can be even better. Thank you so much.